Hello! We are here in the home of the lovely Amanda Tooke, Angel Mystic, and we have come to have a chat with her tonight and find out all about her spiritual journey and what her offerings are.
Oh.
So welcome on Coffee with Crones.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us tonight.
Well, you don't realise how special this is, but maybe this is an appropriate time to share with you, because you know I'm all about manifestation.
Yeah.
And I've marked the page. Oh, here it is, yeah. So the date is 25th of July, to be fair. It says, I would like to connect with Cindy and be invited on to do Coffee with the Crones. So that was that's a real life manifestation. Because of course I didn't reach out to you or anything. It came via Ruby.
Well, I said to Ruby had said to me she was attending something with you, and I said, I've always done Amanda's manifestation stuff, and even though I teach manifestation, I think you need to keep doing it.
Oh, always,
with someone else as a coach and a mentor, and to be constantly reminded. And the yellow cars works, because that is a constant reminder and a little switch.
Yeah.
And then I said to Ruby, you're going to Amanda's. Ask her if she wants to be on Coffee with Crones.
I know. So when you sent me that message, I'm not telling you yet. How great is that? Yeah, so
fantastic.
I'm delighted that you're here.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
It works. I wouldn't be sat in this house if it didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, I've come from being on benefits and here I am now, so that's great.
That's why to me it's so inspiring, because I was on benefits as well, and I feel like I'm at the middle bit of your journey. I'm like in the middle, so then I'm like, she's so lucky. I'm always lucky. Good things happen when I'm near Amanda. I do. Yeah. Anytime I listen to the podcast, anytime I see her live.
I have just done a podcast about that.
Have you?
Yeah. I think it comes out actually next. Is it this week? Maybe Thursday? If not next Thursday.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
All about being lucky and how we create our own luck.
We do.
But if you believe that every time you see me, it's lucky, it's going to be lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's what you believe, you receive.
And that's that yellow car thing as well.
Yeah.
They're always there, but you're not noticing them.
No, this is it. And whatever you want in the universe is always there. It's just that you're not aligned to it. So when you align yourself to the yellow cars, you can then align yourself to whatever it is that you want. Big or small. Doesn't matter to the universe whether it's Esther Hicks says a button or a castle. And it's so true.
Yeah. And the Range Rover. So since I saw you pull up with the Range Rover, they're everywhere. I've never seen as many.
Yeah.
Just, all over. So it's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah.
When I was manifesting my first Range Rover, one literally followed me home, and I turned into my drive, and then it carried on past, and I thought, it's getting closer. It's getting closer.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I messaged you on there and said I think I put in the group that was one of my wishes, to learn to drive and get a Range Rover. And then the next day an old man put Range Rover keys on my door. By mistake. They were meant to be for my neighbour, and I opened the door and was like,
thanks.
There
you go, Ruth.
So weird. Yeah, really weird. Amazing.
But sometimes you have to be a little bit more specific.
Definitely.
Not for 5 seconds. No. You want your own one for every day.
I know.
And that's specific is a word that when I teach manifestation, I say, be careful what you wish for and be specific. Because when I first started on my journey, I manifested and I got exactly what I asked for. It wasn't what I needed.
No.
It wasn't what I needed.
No.
So, you've got to be really specific.
Same when I painted Tom. I didn't know it was Tom, but I painted my dream man, and I said, he's going to play guitar and he's going to look at the stars and he's going to do this. But I didn't say he liked dancing or that he liked going out and doing things. He does like going out and doing things, but like I was thinking meeting people and all that stuff. He don't like any of that, and he don't like dancing either. So specific, definitely. Yeah, interesting. So tell us, Amanda, how did you start all of
Your
this?
spiritual journey. What sort of...
It's a good question. I've always been spiritual, that's the truth. I haven't always been practicing spiritual things, shall we say. I haven't always been consciously manifesting. The turning point was in 2000 when I was going through my divorce and feeling rather broken and in bits, as you do when you're going through those things. I asked for someone or something to help and found this inner strength that came and just transformed my life, really. You know, it gave me the inner strength to deal with my children, to find a job, to just live every day. And then it's like a switch had gone on. I mean, as a child, I saw spirit very clearly, but I'd sort of shut down. My nana taught me loads of things like tea leaf reading, palm reading. I used to read palms in school classes. I used to read palms in pubs to get someone to buy me a drink. You know, all those sorts of things that I wouldn't recommend. But I did do. And then in 2000, spiritual ways just became my way of living. And it was still a bit secret. There was only people that were really close to me that knew what I was up to and what I was doing. And I remember sort of learning about law of attraction from reading books and things and thinking, oh, could this work? And my first manifestation that actually happened blew my mind. So I used to have a bed and breakfast, so, you know, fast forwarding from getting divorced, working at social services, not really liking that so much because I didn't like being away from my children. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. So I ended up selling everything I had of value, including my home, and buying a bed and breakfast, and was living in the bed and breakfast in very small living accommodation. But it gave me the lifestyle that I wanted. But then I became really poorly, had a severe asthma attack that took me 6 months to get over, and I became allergic to my dogs and had to rehome my dogs. I became allergic to house dust, so that was no good when you're cleaning rooms, and had to sell that. And I meditated every day, and the upstairs, as I call them, kept saying open a shop and do your readings, which I'd always sort of, you know, dabbled in. So I did it. And that was 15 years ago this December. I opened my shop in Windermere, started doing my readings, selling crystals, spiritual stuff, a bit like your shop, and had that for a couple of years, and then kept getting the messages to write a book, which was initially this book, Do I Have an Angel? And they said, give up your shop and write your book. And I kept thinking, how can I make that work? But I trusted and did. And here we are. I've got a multiple six-figure business on the back of it, employed 2 people. It's worked out immensely well. And essentially I'm doing my hobby as my full-time career.
Yeah.
And I love it. And it's given me the freedom when the kids were growing up, you know, to be on hand. I used to put a note in my shop window, back on school run, back in 20 minutes, you know, and I adapted my whole life around, you know, my family. And I can't say I've ever looked back. I'm not saying it's always been easy.
Yeah.
You know, there's many times I thought, oh, do I need to get a job? But spiritualism is me. You can't take it out of me now. It's not going anywhere. If you did take it out of me, I wouldn't know who I was anymore. It's so important to me. So what I teach is what I do.
Yeah.
And I know it works. So the first big manifestation happened when I was living in the little cottage across the road from the shop, and because I come from a B&B, we didn't have a lot of furniture because we had lived in such a small owner's bit, and we really needed a mirror, a table, and a unit. And I thought, I'm just going to manifest it. So I put it out there to the universe that I wanted these things. I wasn't specific and go, I want it from, you know, Lakeland Pine or Argos or anything like that. I was just want these 3 items. My little boy was playing out, well, he's not so little now, but he was at the time, playing out the next day on his bike, and he come rushing back and went, Mum, that furniture you want, this is on the Sunday and I only asked for it on the Saturday, it's arrived. And I'm like, what? And he went, come and see. And on this street corner was a shop having a refit, and it chucked out loads of stuff, free to a good home, and there were those 3 items that I needed.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
It happens to me all the
Yeah.
time, and with the silliest things. I might just think, oh, I need a new mascara. Literally, 3-4 days later, my friend will say, I bought this new mascara, but it doesn't work for me. Do you want to try it? It happens all the time. People come into the shop, I'll think, oh, I need to order wax, but I've just got to see budget-wise, you know, what's come in, what's going out, and what I've got left to buy, ingredients and things. Somebody will come in and say, I've bought this wax, I was going to make candles, but it's been in the cupboard for like, thank you very much. It happens all
Yeah, it
the
does.
time.
It absolutely
and it's
does.
brilliant.
Yeah, because manifestation is just about making something appear in your life. It's changing those thoughts, those feelings, that vibration that we're giving out all the time into physical things. But of course, not everything's physical, is it? It's, you know, it can be emotional stuff as well. And of course, physical stuff isn't really physical because it's always moving.
Energy.
It's all energy, yeah.
Holographic Universe.
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Talbot was one of the first books my granny, bless her, told me to read. It was Holographic Universe. Michael Talbot wrote with that, and Dancing with the Woolly Masters.
Ooh.
I can't remember who wrote the Woolly Masters book, but I'll put them on the video. Those were the 2 first books.
Really?
I was in my early 20s, and she said, "Right, dear."
So it comes down the lines for you, ancestral lines, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I've just Granny was a big. I've been very lucky to have both grannies teach me so much. On my father's side, there was the gardener, the granny that did all the crafting, the sewing and the stuff, and the cooking, the kitchen witchery. And on my mum's side was the brainchild. She head lecturer for the
Nice.
Theosophical Society for many years.
Wow.
I think she looked after the library there till she was in her 90s. And she's just passed at 90, just 2 weeks short of 98.
Wow.
So yeah, I was lucky. I was lucky because she fed me book titles all the time. And then, what did you think of it? And her lectures, she'd literally sit there while you were doing the housework and give you a lecture on something, whether it was zodiac landscapes or Jung or whatever. So it was always there.
How wonderful to have that wisdom being
Yeah.
fed into
yeah,
you.
Yeah. Really lucky.
Yeah.
Really lucky. So, what makes your day spiritual? This was something we talked about in the beginning. And what's interesting is people don't even realise the little things they do that are spiritual, that sets them apart, that makes the day magic.
Intention setting is a big one for me. Yeah. I have a morning and an evening practice. And,
Lovely, let's hear.
Yeah, tell me
It's
about
always
it.
interesting to hear other people's practice.
Yeah, well, mine is all obviously this is why I created the journal, because the manifesting journal is basically what I used to do in a plain old boring notepad. This is how I crafted my journal. So now it's all laid out for people to follow. So at the beginning of a month, I set intentions for the month and what my desires are, and I write them all in here. And then I create some affirmations around that. And then I do visualization around all of my desires for the month. And I record them all on my phone so I can listen to them.
So when you're creating your visualization, that's you verbally describing it. I make movies. And I program crystals with those movies.
See, there's so many ways we can visualize. And one of my favourite ways is to script. So I like to write
Scripting,
it.
yeah.
But I also like to listen to it because, I'm quite often doing other things, and I always like to tell people to stack the practice. So, You know, you can have your affirmations on while you're cleaning your teeth. You can have your visualization on when you're in the shower. You know, it makes it work. But I do like, and I'm fortunate that I can give myself time in the morning before I have to deal with anyone. I get up early so that I can do all my practice, because if I didn't, I'd be a grumpy bum. Do you know what I mean? I'd be like resentful, like, oh, I've not done this. And, you know, I'm very good at keeping my energy very grounded. I have to, because I ascend so quick and because I connect with angels so often, I have to keep that balance. So I do make sure I do grounding protection. I don't always meditate every day, but I do always check in and tap in and have a chat and call my angels forward. Affirmations, visualizations. Well, when you move into this bit, this is all sort of laid out for you. So once you've done your monthly bit, you set up, you know, the beginning of the month. You know, I might write what my dreams are about, because there's so many messages in your dreams, isn't there? And it's a good way that angels can communicate with you. So I write my intentions, I do my grounding and protection, my affirmations, my visualizations. I always open my chakras every morning. Right. I always close them down every evening. Just because when I'm asleep, the upstairs like to communicate with me. So I have to make sure I'm really, really well closed down. So then because I'm really well closed down at night, I give them the opportunity to communicate all day. So that is just what works for me. Sometimes I'll do breath work. I always do a prayer. I always do. I'm not a religious person, but I do consider, you know, prayers important. So gratitude is really important as well. So I always do that a bit in the morning as well. And then the rest of the things I do in the evening, different types of visualizations, more gratitude. And I always like to ask my angels for something at the end of the day. So I always ask from a place of gratitude, because it's much better to say thank you for rather than please can you. So I ask for things that I want the next day, because if you don't ask, you don't get. So, you know, you have to ask your angels to help you, otherwise they can't intervene. So.
And your book's available, isn't it? People can buy it.
Yeah,
we'll put the links.
On
just below the video.
On Amazon.
Look at Aisha getting her glasses right now. I need that book.
Yeah, well, there's the Angel book, which is the first book that came. Then the second book was the Manifesting Manual, which teaches everyone everything they need to know about manifesting. It teaches you everything you need to know about angels. This is also as an audio book on Amazon. Haven't got round to doing this as an audio book. There's only this one. But they're all available as Kindle as well. Then obviously this is the journal.
The journal that accompanies it.
Take you 2 months to go through the journal if you're using it every day. And then this is the latest one, which is the children's book.
That. Interesting.
Now the children's book started its journey 20 years ago, because when I worked at social services taking new referrals, and I used to hear horror stories of what went on behind closed doors, it used to distress me, and I used to think, I wish those kiddies knew that they had angels. And the upstairs said to me when I was driving home one day, you need to write an angel book for children. And I was like, what? I'm not even, I was still in sort of, let's call it 3D world, a lot more than 5D. And I was like, I have no idea how to go about that. So obviously I did all these, and then this one came, and there's 4 stories in here, which just helps children know that they've got angels. So it's called Alice Meets Twinkle. Twinkle is the angel. But this book is based upon, there's little bits of everybody in this book. So Alice was my nana that taught me lots. So she had wild red hair when she was little. And then there's a little teddy in here called Harry, which is my daughter's teddy. There's a child in here that hates going to school. That's my son. And there's lots about us all in here in little bits. So it's a really nice. It's special. This book. It's special. My dream is that angels spirituality was taught in school, so that kids, could understand the bigger picture, rather than the dreadful education system that we have now. So but that's a different ball game. So they're all my books.
So you are mainly known as the Angel Mystic.
I am. That was a name that
where
they gave me.
That connection. So when I was younger, I wasn't really connected to the angelic realm, where now I'm quite connected. And that connection came after the universe literally whacked me. I had a head-on collision at 80 kilometers an hour. Literally saw the black velvet curtains close and thought, well, this is what it feels like to die. That thought went on in my head. I can hear myself saying it. And the next thing that followed that was, and all the angels have been dispatched. And I was aware of this, I'll go goosey again, I was aware of losing consciousness and these great beings, presences coming to help me. What then happens is a very personal journey and whatever, but that's how I began working with the angelic realm. And I work predominantly now with the seraphim when I'm doing my healing. But what was the angel connection for you? Where was it that sort of came into being?
Well, the name The Angel Mystic was when I was pondering over who I was and what I did, and was I a clairvoyant, was I a psychic, what the heck was I? And they went, you're just the angel mystic. But when I, that particular Tuesday when I'd signed my divorce papers and I was in bits, was when I asked for something bigger and greater to help me. I didn't know at that point whether it was angels, God, or whatever. I just had a hunch when I started getting little white feathers that it could have been the angels. And so therefore my sort of spiritual relationship was deepened with the angels. And it got so that I just trust them 100%. 100%. There's not an ounce of doubt in me. If I ask my angels to help me, they will help me. They don't always help me in the way that I think they're going to help me because of course they can see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But they will always help me. And I've just become, at first I was quite embarrassed about it because I used to think people think I'm mad. People think I'm crazy. People roll their eyes at me when I said, you need to ask your angels. They'll be like, she's off again. And then it's what you start to think, maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am a bit bonkers. But I was doing my counselling training when I worked at social services, and a lady, if you've ever done that sort of, worked in that environment, you have to do a lot of personal development. And me and this other lady were working together, and she offloaded all her stuff to me, and I was so overwhelmed by it and thought I have no idea what to say to her given the situation that she's in. So I said to her, you need to ask your angels to help you, but don't tell anyone I said because they're going to think I'm mad. And then of course fast forward to when I opened my shop, and one day she rolled in and she went, well, look at you now. And my confidence, because you do have to invest time into your angels, I think, or into indeed any connection. And it's like, you'll meet your guardian angel, but then the next thing you have to do is build a relationship with them, just like you would with a new friend. You might meet somebody, you feel a connection where you think, I could be mates with them. But then you've got to, get to know them, haven't you? You've got to spend some time with them. And it's the same with your angels. So I did all of that. And now I don't give a damn if nobody believes me, because it's too important and it's transformed my life so much. And angels give me the inner peace. It's great manifesting the big house, the Range Rover and all of that, but the best manifestation is inner peace that I get every day, and that comes from my angels. And I've no idea if that answered your question, Cindy.
Yeah, it did. Well, I've got a question for you, Amanda. So I was brought up a Christian. That's all I knew until I was 16. I didn't know anything else existed. So my angel stories are all linked to God, a man in the sky. And then when I was 16 and realised there was other stuff, over the years I've moved so far away from that completely. Yeah. But I still believe in angels. I still talk to angels, but I've got this thing in my head where I'm kind of torn, because it's like I want to talk to angels and I want to learn more about angels, but every time I think of it, it's still connected to the Christian bit. So, have you got any kind of words of wisdom or advice for, like, if other people are in that situation like me?
No.
Oh.
I'm the same, Ruby.
No, I have.
The same, but yeah.
I was brought up in a religious house.
Okay.
I went to Sunday school, I went to C.V. school, went to church every Sunday, yeah, all of that. And I can't tell you how uncomfortable I've always felt in church. But when I was a little girl, my nana, she went to church every Sunday, and I used to love going with her. And I've realised now she was a healer, but she didn't really ever class herself as that. But her energy was very healing, and I loved being in her presence. So I would go with her. But I did get to the the rebellion. Oh, spirits coming in now, voices going croaky. The stage in my life, and then I just couldn't stand the organised religion and the rules and oh my goodness, all of that. But angels are the one thing that all religions do agree on. And, whether you believe in God, whether you want to call it the universe, whether you want to call it, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, I think there's something bigger and greater than we can possibly ever imagine. I think it's all the same thing. I think it's like an elephant. So imagine there's a big elephant in the room, we're all blindfolded, we're all feeling this elephant. You're feeling the tusk, I'm feeling the trunk, you're feeling the foot, you're feeling the tail. It's all the same elephant, but it's going to feel very different.
I use that exact same analogy. My God, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody use it. I'm like with a torch with an elephant in a dark room, and we're all like highlighting little bits of the elephant, but we're all seeing different things. But yeah, yay!
Confirmation. So I think, what have you got to lose by giving it a whirl? And I think angels are the easiest of all the realms to connect with. There's nothing hard, there's nothing complicated. The hardest thing is remembering to ask. I think connecting with spirit is a totally different ball game. But I think everyone should be connecting with their angels. And if they're not, they're missing a trick, because it just makes your life so much easier. If you want more ease, you want more flow in your life, connect with your angels, because they're literally like rolling out the red carpet for you to glide down. It's like, it feels so good.
You signed me up. I know Cindy and Ruby have both followed you for it, but I'm coming here as a complete noob. So
Oh, good.
Really
Another convert for angels.
Absolutely.
My work here is done.
Do you thank the angels, Amanda? So, like, when Tom's going to work and stuff, I always ask the angels to protect him when he's driving. And then when he comes home, I always say, oh, thank you, for protecting him. Yeah. And then I feel a bit like I'm an idiot or something. Like, am I meant to be doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's better to ask with gratitude too. So thank you for keeping him safe going to work is better than please will you. Because the energy behind please is very needy. Whereas when you're saying thank you for, it's like that's going to happen.
It's already
it's
it's already done.
I like that.
But that doesn't mean to say that I don't have a good old chat with my angels as I'm going to bed at night. And say thank you for this, thank you for that. Oh, that was great, that was amazing. Oh my God, you blew my mind again. Because they are always blowing my mind, even still. Even after like 24 years of personally connecting with them as deeply as I have, they still blow my socks off in what they can do. And I just sit there and chuckle. They are incredible. They are incredible.
Is there one particular angel that you connect with specifically, or is there a whole?
We all have our own guardian angels, which are assigned to us in every lifetime. So it's been assigned to your soul. So it's been through all the lifetimes that you've been, here. And this won't be your first one. If you're interested in anything like this, is it? Oh, thank goodness for that, she says. I thought it was my last, but it's not. I've got a.
I'm determined. I'm going to be the last one.
No, I believe I have more to come.
Okay.
I'm going to pick more wisely though. But anyway, I think connecting with your guardian angel is a place to start, and then you can have more than one guardian angel. But there's like the next realm up after your guardian angel is the archangels, and archangels all have like specialist subjects. So Michael's good at cutting cords, keeping you safe. Raphael is a healer. Metatron is amazing. He's the highest archangel with his brother Salnathon, who is really good for manifestation. So I love a bit of Metatron work.
I do gridding with the cube.
Yeah.
On the cube.
Metatron's cube.
For manifestation in particular.
Yeah. I have a great story about Metatron actually. So when I was in my shop and living in that little house across the road, it was only a winter let that I had on that house, and we had 3 weeks left and we had to find somewhere else to live. And I couldn't find anywhere for me and the 2 kids, and I was just getting more and more panicked with it. And I thought I'd found the dream house, and I put it on my vision board. I was like, yeah. And you've got to remember when you're manifesting, it's that or something better. Anyway, I didn't get the house, and I found out on my birthday I hadn't got the house I really wanted. I was gutted and devastated. I was sat in my shop feeling really miserable, and 3 people came in and said, have you seen that house near the golf course? And I thought, I need to have a word with Metatron. So I had a word with Metatron, and I thought, I need to go and view this house. Somebody's told it me 3 times. That's a sign.
That's my sign as well.
So I went up to view this house, and it was incredible. It had a big sweeping drive. The house was enormous. There was like a building at the end of the drive that looked like another house, but that was actually just a garage. It had a big balcony. It was stunning. It was in loads of land. I stood there thinking, I can't afford this. This is double what I can afford. There is no way. Needless to say, I lived there for 5 years, and I won ITV's Made the Best House win with that house. Yeah. Because, the angels sorted it out, and it turned out that the house was actually 2 properties, and I could sublet one. So
that's amazing.
But if I hadn't have spoke to my angels, if I hadn't noticed my signs, I never would have viewed it, because that house had been up for rent for 6 months, and I kept going, can't afford £1,200 a month, can't afford £1,200 a month, and of course I did. So you've got to stay open to.
And don't worry about the how.
Oh, never.
Just what. What you want. Don't worry about the how. That's their job.
Well, you see, if I'd have thought about how am I going to get on with Coffee with Crones, I'd have thought, I need to send Cindy a message. That's what I would have thought. I need to reach out in some way, and I didn't do anything. I just went, that's what I want. Thank you very much. Here we are. So never do the how.
So when I teach, I say, see it, feel it, be it.
Yeah.
Act as if, see it, visualize it. What is it that you want? Feel how you'll feel when you have that. Attach an emotion or a vibration to it, and then be it. Start living as if it's already happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Plan your furniture for the house. I'm going to have that house. There's a house at the moment that I drive past twice a day. I absolutely love it. It will come. It will come. And plan what I'm going to do in the garden, and I slow down and I look at it, and I'll look out of that window at the cars passing, and you start to visualize, and then you feel how you'll feel in that. That's how I teach.
Perfect.
It. Yeah.
It is, and I think as well, in terms of because I've gone from being broke and being overdrawn and being maxed out on credit cards, and how can you possibly feel rich and abundant when you're in that place? But we all know the vibration of abundance, and it might be that you're only abundance in washing up. It might be that you're only abundance in dust. It might be that you're only abundance in negative, what you perceive as negative things that are not, abundant, but you do know what too much of anything or more than enough of anything feels like. Think of the abundance when you look in your garden. Think of all the little, little blades of grass. That's abundance. Think of, an apple. An apple is so abundant. It's just like one apple there on the table. You think, it's only an apple, but that isn't only an apple, because when you look at that apple and you cut that apple in half and you think of all those little seeds that then can grow into other trees and how much more can come, you could have a whole orchard from that one apple. So we all know what that feeling feels like, and you always have to feel it first.
Yeah.
So I think there's always generally a match you can find because otherwise you wouldn't want that manifestation, whatever that is. You know, you wouldn't want a loving relationship if you didn't know what love was going to feel like in some shape or form. You wouldn't want wellness if you didn't know what wellness was going to feel like in some shape or form. So you can feel it. You know, we're so often, like if it's health, we're so often like putting ourselves down, oh this hurts, that hurts, and oh this runs in the family, that runs in the family, and you go to support groups and all you're doing is perpetuating the problems. So you need to focus on what does work in your you know, in your body, what's working right okay now, and focus on that. You know, is your eyesight okay? Is your, you know, taste buds working? You know, all the little things that we don't take enough for granted, do we? We don't appreciate what we've got here and now. And the angels are tickling my nose right now because that's what they do when they give me signs. They always do it when I'm on live, and now they're doing it here. So we're obviously onto something. But I think, you know, the manifestation, I'm sure you'll agree, isn't anything more powerful than now. The past is gone, we can't change that. The future is not yet determined. The only way it is determined is how you're feeling now, and the future manifestations come from the vibration that you are giving out right now. So if you're sitting there rocking in a corner and worrying, I'm afraid you're going to get more worries. And there is always something to be grateful for. Always.
I had a really good lesson in that last week. So everything's been going hunky-dory, everything's lovely. And then I walked the dogs, and the dog got attacked by 2 other dogs, and I went absolutely mad at the woman. Really angry. I've not been that angry for quite a long time. Got home, sat down, had a cry. Next thing is the washing machine flooded the kitchen. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, but
you were crying and the water
flooded
flooded down.
That's it. It's emotions, pipe work.
and one thing after another that day, for the next couple of days, kept breaking. And then I was like, hang on a minute here, whoa. And then instead of getting into that, oh, everything's terrible, I was like, this is me doing this, let's change it up. And then since then it's gone.
Well, that's what happens. You know, we were saying about luck before, but people think, you know, that you can manifest things breaking in threes. Oh, my kettle's gone. Oh, my washing machine. Oh, what next? You're expecting. So therefore something else comes along and breaks. But it doesn't have to be like that.
You've got a little catchphrase for that. Changing around.
Have I? Flip your funk.
Flip your funk.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what's she going to say?
I was thinking of that. Flip my funk.
Come on. And some days it's frigging hard to flip your funk.
Some moments. Wasn't I doing that the other day? I said, come on, Ruby, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. Can I just say, I know this sounds weird,
Go
you look so pretty tonight.
Do you know why? Because I've got earrings in, Cindy.
No, you look so pretty. Every time I look over,
I've had a wash.
You look...
That's what you wash. You look nice. Have you washed your face?
I did wash my face.
No, you really look like glowy, pretty.
It's because thank you, but it's because I've had a wash and put earrings in. I don't wear them, but I've had a lady made these for me specially.
No, your face looks...
It's because it's clean, Cindy. You used to looking at me when I've not had a wash.
I feel like you're in this like soft and lovely.
Yeah, no, every time do you know what? When you just keep looking at someone and you just notice, gosh, you look really pretty tonight.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll wash more often.
Something's coming right, best I wash.
That's motivation for you.
Did you know what I think it is? I put all castor oil on last night.
I love castor oil.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
And but I did have a wash today to wash it off.
It just ruins your bed in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just turns it like your bed turns into oil.
But it smells like clean laundry. You know when you buy something new from the shop, new clothes, it smells like that, and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
So I mix castor, jojoba, and then I put a little bit of lavender. I'm not a big lavender fan, so a few drops of lavender and rosemary oil, and then I shake it up and I use that.
Frankincense.
And a little bit of frankincense in there as well. And that's my little Botox in a bottle.
Yeah.
I've been putting it in my belly as well, belly, because apparently it's meant to make your skin not dry, isn't it? Yeah.
I rub it into my feet. I love it last thing at night.
Yeah, that's nice.
But it goes in better when you warm it up.
Yeah.
So that makes a difference.
Yeah, because when I first used it, I was like, "What is this?" Because it's thick, isn't it? Really thick.
When you dilute it with a bit of jojoba or grapeseed or something, sweet almond would work. It goes in much better.
Yeah, I'm a great believer in that.
Yeah. Love it.
So you've got all your books. You've also got a deck of cards.
I do have a deck of cards. Yeah, I've been producing.
And that's your.
That's my little logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, if we open this deck of cards, we'll see better. So the logo is a bit of a story, which I'm happy to share.
Yeah, go on.
Back in the day when I only did readings in person, there's the logo.
Oh, look, it's you.
It's me. I am no angel. But yeah, back in the day when I did readings in person, my friend said to me, "Oh, you need to be doing readings online," and I had such resistance because foolishly I thought, "Oh, I need to do it in person, and then if I can't get a good connection, I can just touch them and I'll be able to tap in a bit easier." That's where I was at on my journey. And she kept going, "No, you can do them online. You can do them online." I've got a friend in Australia. Do her a reading. So we set up Skype because it was before Zoom. It's it's a long time ago, and we did this reading. And I did this reading for her, and she loved it. She said, "That was great. Can I do something back in return for you? Can I make you a logo?" Because my business used to be called Mystic Moon. That's what my shop was called. But what I'm known as is the Angel Mystic. So she said, "I'll draw you a new logo." So she did. She drew me that. And I thought, oh my God, that's really, really great. And it's been stuck like that ever since, which is, my whole branding now is all on point. But anyway, after that, I started getting me downloads for the cards, which my downloads always happen throughout the night. And I honestly believe that if you get woken in the night, you should get up and journal, or you should get up and meditate, especially if it's happening often, because it's a way that they can communicate. And I started channeling all these cards, like the name of the card, the colour of the card, the words on the card, a bit of a description on the card, and all this information. I thought, well, what do I do with it now? So I spoke to this lady in Australia, and she said, "Yeah, I'll design them for you." So we did them like back and forth over Skype, designing all the cards, which must be 12 years ago now. And yeah, I've been producing them ever since. But they're really nice. I think they're a really nice size because I only have little hands, and they're really easy for shuffling, and yeah, they're very accurate. So people love using these.
Would you like to draw us a card? Come on.
Yeah.
Draw a card for our readers. Not our readers. Our viewers. Yeah, I had downloads, but on healings. On colour healing and literally whole things that I'd wake up in the morning and write. And it would even include questions to ask the person.
Wow.
While it was amazing.
Do you find when you get woken in the night that you're not tired the next day? Because if they've had me up throughout the night, I can remember thinking of it, I'm shattered. I can remember I was running a workshop one Sunday and I was awake all Saturday night getting downloads. Not for the workshop, for something totally different. And I'm like, oh, for goodness sake, I'm never going to be able to stay awake for this workshop tomorrow. I wasn't tired at all. Yeah, always. So the card for everyone is the forgiving card. And this also leads into a story, because years ago when I was just doing readings in my shop and I was going through something really tricky in my own personal life, and I said to the angels, what can I do about such and such a thing? And they went, there's only 2 things you can do with any given situation. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. What are they going to tell me? And they went, forgiveness and unconditional love. And I went, is that the best you've got? And they went, try it. And boy, oh boy, forgiveness and unconditional love fixes everything. Because forgiveness frees you from your past. It's not about going up to somebody and going, I forgive you, It's energetic work that we're talking about. It's releasing you from your past. So if you're seeing this video and you're seeing this, ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to forgive so I can move forward, so I'm not carrying all that rubbish in that back sack into the future, because then you're just perpetuating your problems. And I think, when we keep getting, difficult things, you had that with your dog and everything, we need to look at what we're learning. And that's what the angels want us to do with anything that's difficult in life. Look at what we're learning and forgive it and let it go. And take that you can turn that into a blessing. When you've worked with forgiveness, you can turn that into a blessing. So that is the card for everyone.
So tell us, what have you got coming up in the next couple of weeks or months?
Well, it is really busy at Angel HQ at the moment. We feel like we're spinning lots of plates, but our annual spiritual training that is totally free is coming up next week. 2 weeks' time. It's called Bringing Out the Woo in You.
I've done it.
Yeah, it's good. Each one is a little bit different, but basically it's learning about your angels, it's a meet your spirit guide meditation in there. It's over the 3-day training, so there's a little video in the morning, and then in the evening we get together and we do more sort of detailed stuff. But yeah, if you want to learn about energy, about grounding and protection, angels, spirit guides, that is the place to be. Whether you can join live or whether you watch the replay, but it is all happening. Yeah, in my free group, Abundance Manifesting, over on Facebook.
Lovely.
And do people just come and ask to join that, or is it going to be on the website? Like a link?
It'll be everywhere. Yeah. It's best to sign up and get yourself a place, then you get regular, email reminders about it. Yeah.
I'll be on that list.
Yeah, come and join us. They're normally big trainings. There's generally about 2,000 people or so that go through them. Yeah, but they're good. They are good.
Yeah, it's good little reminders and things that. So that's why I like to come on and do your manifesting boot camp, because. You were talking earlier and you said, if you teach, but you do as well. I find sometimes I'm teaching so much, my doing gets less, and then I have to go, oh, hang on. And that's when I'll sign myself up to things, because when I sign myself up, I do them. I become accountable. So that's.
And it's nice to mix in those communities, isn't it?
Absolutely.
With people that get it and people that understand. So it is good to do those sorts of things for sure. Yeah.
And it's ongoing, isn't it, all the time? Because I remember when I first started years ago, I was like, we'll do this year and then everything will be sorted.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, it's definitely a journey.
Yeah.
It's not a destination. So it is ongoing. So even if you get to manifest what it is that you want now and you think, my life will be perfect with all of that, let me tell you, when you get there, something else will come along. Because this is my 20th house that I've manifested. So I know I've moved house a lot, but I can remember moving to what I thought, oh my God, this is my dream house. It's big old farmhouse. It was lovely. But then I found it too isolated and too lonely. So my dream didn't turn out to be my dream, even though I thought it was my dream before I got there. So then I had to manifest something else after that. So it is always, a journey. And it's about having fun on that journey, because the vibration of manifestation, to manifest with ease, is fun. And so often we're so caught up in drama, aren't we, and problems and life, and we forget how important fun is. Quite often people are, in a quandary and like, oh my goodness, I don't know what my life purpose is. Well, it's quite simple in my book. Your life purpose is to have fun, because when you're laughing, you are allowing. But when you're all like narky, you're just putting the blocks on.
I needed to hear that.
Give you lots of confirmation. Yeah. But no, it is. I don't think it's anything more complex than that. And what your life purpose changes throughout your life. So when my kids were little, my life purpose was to be the best mum I could possibly be. My life purpose is not that now. My life purpose is doing what I'm doing here right now. It changes all the time, I think. But as long as it's always fun, we're hitting the nail on the head, and let's not overthink it.
I fully agree with that, because if I ever think, I need some money, I'm going to make this thing to sell to get some money, nothing sells. It doesn't sell. But if I'm like, I'd love to make that thing, and I make it, not even with the intention I'm going to sell this thing, it's just the process that I'm loving doing. They're the things that people go, can I buy them? So it's that weird, it's that energy, I suppose, isn't it? Is it the energy?
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we've had this conversation, haven't we? It's like, I'll decide how much I know how much I need to turn over my business every month, but I'll think, when we're doing our planning, what would be the most fun way to do that this month? And I think that's what people miss out. So some months I'll really want to do one-to-one work, and other months I won't want to do one-to-one work. And so it's about making offers around what's going to light you up, because if you're lit up, you're going to be attracting to you what you want. What a lot of people don't know about me is that I am a business strategist. I did qualify and train as that, but I've had my first business when I was 17. I was brought up in an entrepreneurial family. So I know quite a lot about business. Obviously, this business is 15 years old. My other business before that was a bed and breakfast, but my first business was a beauty salon in Wigan. When I was 17. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I love business. I love talking business. And if you're not making money in business, you've just got a very expensive hobby. And I do love supporting people that want to, do something they love and earn money from it. Because I think that everyone came into this world with something that they find so damn easy to do, they're frightened to charge for it because they think they should be doing it for free. And actually, maybe that is what you need to be doing, so then life becomes fun.
Oh, we need to talk so much.
Why do you think we brought you here?
I have just been helping a friend who wants to set up a shamanic business, and we've had lots of conversations around it, and I'm delighted to say that she's put on a course locally and she's sold it out.
Fantastic.
Every place. Yeah, it is totally possible. Okay. Whatever you want to do, follow, what feels right, what feels fun.
We keep telling you, as soon as you open those doors, you won't even know who you are. It'll be such fun. And the more fun you're having, the busier you'll be.
Well, that's
it's just taking that leap of faith. It's that leap of faith.
It's that scary bit, isn't it? Because you're leaving your security of whatever you're earning per month, or you just turn up, do your job, come home, get your money, and it's done, isn't it? But the question is it lighting you up? Does it feel like you're missing something? Is there something like you want to be doing? I always think, when we get to the gates of heaven, whatever that might be, will we have regrets? Will you think, I should have done that? I wish I'd done that. I don't think we'll ever have regrets of trying. I think we'll have regrets of things that we didn't do and feel like we should have done. And God forbid if that means we have to come back round, Cindy, and do it all again.
One of the questions, I'll share this with you, there's two really important questions you do get asked. And it's, have you truly loved yourself? And have you embraced your talents? And really shared your talents? And those are two questions.
Wow.
So when I teach the way of the mystic, when I teach that, those are two questions I share.
I love those questions because actually loving yourself is massive and it isn't something that's easy to do. And sometimes you need to start by liking yourself. And I asked the angels one day, how can we love ourselves? And they said it starts with self-acceptance. Starts with accepting yourself as you are. And we're always comparing ourselves to other people, aren't we? We've been taught to compare ourselves, and we end up being mean to ourselves in the process. So I love that.
Yeah, it's really important, and I wish younger girls knew it. Like I feel like we get to a certain age and then we go, and then we start accepting ourselves. I wish
just as everything falls apart.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Gravity.
Like, oh my God, I was so hot when I was 20. Like,
but you didn't know
I
when you
didn't
were 20.
know it, and I thought I was fat and horrible and ugly. I wasn't. I've looked at pictures now. I think, to jump back into that body, yes please. So I wish younger girls could figure that out.
But that's because we're so bothered about the physical, isn't it? and we're not feeling that connection where, this is just the carriage for the soul, isn't it? And wouldn't it be wonderful if we could all go to like a body shop and, we could go to, instead of just buying a new outfit, we could get a new body. Oh, I'll have that one today. Jump into that, It'd be great. I mean, maybe that is something that will come. I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
So I've been talking, haven't I, a few times about the fourth turning. Have you heard of this, Amanda?
No.
So every 80 years, we have this thing, and it's called the fourth turning, where everything like resets again. So in the first 0 to 20 years, it's like when everything's new, starting to be rebuilt, all innovations are starting to come in. It's like really good. And then 20 to 40, it's like amazing. So towards the 40, it starts getting in excess, so it kind of starting to go down. And then 40 to 60, it starts to really crumble, and things start to fall apart. And then 60 to 80, it's like proper dodgy. So we're in the last part of the 80 at the minute, apparently, and it finishes in 2028. So all the stuff that happens, the wars, droughts, all that kind of stuff, and it's been documented over and over again, like over 80 years, this pattern that emerges. So I'm like really excited for 2028, because I'm like, bring it on, all this new stuff, it's going to be amazing, like the world's going to reset kind of thing. And I'm just wondering if you've got do you have like insights to things with the spirit or the angels of what could come or anything like that? Do you work in that way, or?
I get snippets of that sort of stuff. I do think we're in a bit of a interesting period at the moment, and I don't know how much I can say and I can't say on your channel. But
whatever you want. I say
the coffee is filtered, but the Crones
I go, I'm going there, Cindy. Sorry, I'm going there.
Where are you going? What's she going to say?
Because I probably have quite, alternative views, and, let's call them, if you want to call them, conspiracy theories and all of that. I'm very open-minded. I think 2020 was very interesting, because I think 2020 was about pure vision, and a lot of people got the pure vision. Just the date of 2020 vision, and people woke up then. Yes. Some woke up, some are still asleep, and that's okay, because that's their journey. But I do think the divide is bigger and greater than ever before. And I really struggle with 3D life now, absolutely, health-wise, in terms of vaccinations and all of that, and what the government are doing to us or not doing to us, or definitely doing to us, and how the weather can be manipulated. And so I think there's an awful lot going on that, perhaps not everyone is realising. I do think we're hurtling into something. I do think that there's life on other planets, and I do believe that, there's, I think our intelligence comes from alien life. I don't think human life is that intelligent. I think it's had to come from somewhere else. I do think that we will live in a very, very different world, and one of the things that I have seen, I've never even said this to anyone, but I have seen, is that there won't be, like we buy clothes now and stuff like that, we won't need to buy clothes, because we'll be able to like the suit that we're in. Well, today I'm going to be, dressed up.
You are.
Even Mr. Ben, that TV. He changed outfits like that. Yeah. I do believe that we'll be able to. I want to dress up as a mermaid today, or I think we'll be able to morph into things in the future. So I am as open-minded as they probably come. Yeah,
I love that. I really love that. I believe that there's like two kinds of human. So at some point, like aliens or whatever we want to call them, came here, and they're like the more intelligent kind of human. And then there's humans that are, not that they're not awake, but they're just like, I don't know. I look at some people and I think, how can you not even see or understand, or how it's like they're completely switched off from everything. And I've said
they're programmed with fear, aren't they?
But I've said
living and existing.
Yeah.
I always use those words.
Yeah.
You people dreaming the dream awake.
Yeah.
And then those that are just sort of on that treadmill of the existence of.
Also, I was watching. I don't watch telly, but the other day I was on Moontime and I was like, there was nothing on the Netflix or anything, and I thought, I'll just see what's on telly. I shouldn't have bothered. But an advert came on and it was for vodka, and it was on about the spirits, and it's called something spirit, I can't remember, and it kept going on about spirits in this advert over and over again, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're open to spirits when we're drinking alcohol in that way. And like when I was younger, I knew I was different in some way, but I didn't know how. And then 20 to 30, I drank and took loads of drugs and everything, and I was so disconnected from what I now call like real life, which is what we experience. And then when I stopped drinking when I was 30, it's like I've become more aware and more in tune and more connected, because it just poisons you.
Oh, absolutely. Alcohol is poison.
Yeah.
And also, it's really dangerous to do any spirit work with alcohol on board. And as long as I've been doing this as, professionally, like I used to do psychic parties that were they were featured in the Sun newspaper. A reporter came up all the way to Grasmere to take part in this psychic party. And of course, it's a bit like Ann Summers, but on a different vibration.
No pun intended.
and I don't do them anymore. But I always used to hate that environment where they were all having a nice little drink, and I was trying to work. And I will not. I don't drink alcohol anymore because I do think it puts holes in your aura, and I think it's a really dangerous game to play, that if you're working with spirit or working with the upstairs in any shape or form, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol. It's a respect thing, it's morals, it's standards, all of that. And it's just flipping dangerous. But, I just think that we need to be really respectful of the upstairs, because there is light and dark in everything, and there is good and bad in everything. And you don't want to be opening yourself up. And if you're having alcohol and then you're going to pull a few cards or, do all that stuff, it's just dangerous, isn't it? It really is dangerous. So, I don't drink alcohol. But even when I did drink alcohol, I would never do anything spiritual. It was just a no-no for me. I'm not saying that I've always been good in that sort of way. My nana taught me how to do Ouija boards, and I definitely don't recommend that to people now. You've got to know what you're doing. And dabbling with them like we did was a scary thing.
Same.
Yeah. But no, so I don't do anything like that.
No. I've never used a Ouija board.
No. Have you not? I left a retreat because that's what they were going to be doing, and I wasn't keen on the morals and ethics and stuff, because I just don't think you should do that sort of thing.
No,
you just think you don't know what you're calling in.
No, you don't.
And my grandmother always called them the hungry ghosts, the lower vibrational stuff. And you're calling in those people who have passed. This was her explanation of it. And again, we always say, these are our opinions, these are our perceptions. We're not saying we're right, we're not saying we're wrong. This is just how we think and feel. So she would always describe it as the hungry ghosts. Those who have passed over but had a physical dependency.
Attachment, yeah.
So whether it was to cigarettes, alcohol, sex, whatever, gambling, and they sort of a lower realm. And when you're calling in spirit in that sort of way, you're usually getting these hungry ghosts who are hanging around looking for attachment. So she's always called them the hungry ghosts.
Yeah. I don't like anything like ghost hunting either. I believe in living in harmony with spirit, not getting freaked out and seeing what they can do. Spirit have lit fires in my house. They've done loads of crazy stuff. They've thrown things across the room. Don't need any more evidence that spirit are around us every day. I want to live in harmony with them, and make life easier for myself. Working with the upstairs, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be respected.
It definitely has. And I think it was so, because that advert was so apparent to me because I'm away from it, and it was repeating over and over again, let the spirit enter you, let the do that. Do you know what I mean? And it was on about alcohol.
Subliminals though, isn't it?
And I was like,
it's around us all the time.
Yeah. But we did Ouija boards when I was younger, and drinking and taking drugs at the same time, and really bad stuff happened. Loads of bad stuff happened. I wouldn't. And you can get them now for children. Like, I can't remember what company it is, but they've made like a pink one for children, for little kids. And I just think, what are you doing?
Well, children are already open. Children remember
you don't need
where they've come from up to the age of 7 before they start closing down. They remember. I mean, I think it was Wayne Dyer that shared a story where it isn't his, he was just sharing the story, but there was this mum that had recently had a baby, and she had one of the monitors on in the new baby's room, and the little toddler went in and said to the baby, do you remember God? Do you know what God's like? And this little child obviously remembered, but was starting to forget, because we do get spiritual amnesia, don't we? When we come into this world, we don't always remember where we've come from and who we are, and we forget that we're a spiritual being at time. But little children are so open. This is what the invisible friends are all about. It's just it's really, really special. Yeah. Doesn't need a Ouija board.
No, not at all.
No, that's wrong. Very wrong.
Really wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you. That's been interesting. That's been really good chat.
It's lovely to have you all here.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say to the viewers that we have something else in store for you. We are launching a calendar competition.
Oh, yes, this is exciting.
So we want your picks. I think we'll just do a draw of photographs round about the 31st of October, and we will design a calendar, a Crones calendar for 2025 that will actually include all of your picks. So do send us pics. What did we decide as a theme? Bewitched brews, or a brew with a view. So brew with a view. Brew with a view. So get your favourite mug out and have a brew with your favourite view. Send us some pictures. Be imaginative. Be magical with it. You can either email them to us, or you can send them to. We'll give you a link or an email address in the video. So we will do a selection of the 12 best. And you'll be in our calendar. So get clicking, get drinking, and get clicking.
Please don't send them to Facebook. Don't message us on Facebook, because the quality of the picture gets really blurry. And if you are emailing pictures, off your phone's perfectly fine. That's okay. But if they are really bad, like if they're blurry and stuff, we won't be able to use them, will we?
Yeah.
They have to be quite high quality pictures. So if you imagine they're going to be zoomed up. Zoomed up? Is that right?
Blown up.
Zoomed in, blown up. So please only send them to the email that we'll pop in.
We'll pop in an email. Good. Lovely. So our bums are numb.
Oh yeah.
Our brews are through.
Start again.
I always get it wrong. Do I?
Our brews are through.
Our bums are numb. Till the next moon, we'll see you soon.